Hi, hello ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Namaskaram, Vanakkam. Welcome to the Pon Sandhya Sangam Zoom show on the Sunday, 16th,
Saturday.
Saturday, 15th of February 2025. Got used to saying Sunday. This is a repeater number 160, and we propose the word of motion as we go along. Master storyteller Vyasa and his story Mahabharata. Well, the word "his" is written inside the bracket. Don't know whether it has such an impact or not. We'll get to know straight from the horse's mouth as the guest speaker, Mr. Mohan Krishnan, joins us from Chennai. Welcome to the show, Monda. And as usual, begin the show with a prayer followed by the guest introduction. Thereafter, the guest speaker will take over on his completion with an open session wherein we all can put our views, observations, comments, feedback, and even ask questions. The guest is more than happy to answer. And finally, we'll wrap it up with a summary and vote of thanks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's kickstart the show. Having up first is the prayer. Joining us from Mumbai is Mrs. Jeevareka Prasad to sing the prayer for us. Jeevareka, madam, kindly unmute your microphone and go ahead.
Hare Krishna, ellarku namaskaram. Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajaman Haran Bhava Bhayadarunam Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajaman Haran Bhava Bhayadarunam नवकञ्जलोचन कञ्जमुखकर कञ्जपद कञ्जारुणम् श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भजमन हरण भव भयदारुणम् श्रीराम 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 कन्दर्पगणितामित छवि नवनील नीरद सुन्दरम् पटपीतमानगु तडित रुचि सुचि नौमि जनकसुतावरम् श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भजमन हरण भव भयदारुणम् श्रीराम 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 भज दीन बंधु दिनेश दानव दैत्यवं शनिकन्दनम् रघुनन्द आनन्द कन्द कोशल चन्द्र दशरथ नन्दनम् श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भजमन हरण भव भयदारुणम् श्रीराम 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 सिर मुकुट कुंडल तिलक चारु दारु अंग विभूषणम् आजानुभुज शर चापधर संग्रामजित करदूषणम् श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भजमन हरण भव भयदारुणम् श्रीराम 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 इति वदति तुलसी दास शंकर शेष मुनि मनरंजनम् मम हृदय कञ्ज निवास कुरु कामादि गलदल गञ्जनम् श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भजमन हरण भव भयदारुणम् नवकञ्जलोचन कञ्जमुखकर कञ्जपद कञ्जारुणम् श्रीराम 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 हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, madam, for the wonderful prayer song as always. And now, as we move into the next segment of introducing the guest speaker, well, Mohandas is not new to us. He is himself a master storyteller. But then we have a protocol to follow. And also, for the benefit of you join us this evening, an introduction becomes necessary. Mrs. Gauri Swaminathan will do the honors. Gauri, madam, please go ahead. Madam, mic connect.
Good evening, friends.
Good evening.
Welcome to all. In fact, that was an excellent bhajan of Tulsidas. We heard just now, Sri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajamana. So we started with a very, very nice invocation, for the start of the evening. And Mr. Mohan Krishnan, I have introduced him twice earlier. So this is the third time I am privileged, sir, to introduce you once again. And I really consider it a great honor, to introduce you whenever you speak. And this is for the new joinees because everybody knows him in this forum. So he's actually a household name here in Tapovan Sandhya Sangam. But those who are going to hear him for the first time, I would like to introduce him again. Mr. Mohan Krishnan is a retired currency officer, Reserve Bank of India, presently settled in Chennai. He is a professional storyteller, which you will see, and who is going to speak about the master storyteller, VYASA. And he is also a happiness coach. In fact, it's a happiness and well-being coach. And Mr. Mohan Krishnan's depth of knowledge in banking and economics, helps him to narrate stories from commerce and industries with absolute ease, which we have heard earlier from him. He had his spiritual education under learned masters, and his grounding in the Indian heritage and culture is very strong that he can narrate impactful stories of our heritage and other cultures as well. And today you will see that in abundance. And he's also a movie buff because I have heard him, with playing with lyrics, of Hindi movies, old Hindi movie songs. So he's a movie buff and he can actually enthrall us with stories from the world of celluloid too. And he sings old Hindi songs as an avocation. It's excellent, sir. It's such a versatility. And he conducts Bhagavad Gita classes online too. So, to introduce such a versatile personality, such a well-learned personality, I am extremely privileged. And Subbu, thanks for the opportunity once again. And our professional storyteller and expert storyteller is going to speak about the master storyteller, VYASA, and his story, Mahabharata. So thank you very much, sir, and welcome. Welcome to the forum once again, sir.
One stalwart introducing another stalwart. Can we ask for anything more? Can't ask for anything.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hole Shankar.
It's all yours now.
Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna. We'll start with a small prayer. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavatyapta dehaya dakshinamurtaye namaha. Sri Ganeshaya namaha. There is a saying, the doha in Kabir Das. Kabir Das is among his 900 plus dohas. There is one doha. It says, जाति न पूछे साधु की पूछ लीजिए ज्ञान जाति न पूछे साधु की पूछ लीजिए ज्ञान मोल करो तलवार की पड़ा रहने दो म्यान कबीरा पड़ा रहने दो म्यान. Don't, is it a value the sword, not the sheath. मोल करो तलवार की पड़ा रहने दो म्यान. Don't push, don't ask who is this person, who is that person, because the Mahabharata, imagine a storyteller telling a story and he is a character in the story. So that's why he is called a master storyteller, and I put his because we don't know where itihasa disappears and where kavya takes over. We don't know where amara kavya ends and itihasa takes over. Simple mastery, story within story within story. The mind which composes 18 Puranas, no ordinary brain. It is considered as Mahavishnu's avatar. Okay. So briefly very briefly, because to talk about Vyasa is hamari bas ki baat nahi hai. So briefly, he was born to Parashara and Matsya Gandha, and his birth took place on an island. He was dark in complexion. So his original name was Krishna Dvaipayana. And even as he was born, he grew into adulthood. He took the blessings of his mother, and the biggest gift that he has given to mankind. And if we are fortunate to be born in this land has so many names. It is not just India. Okay, India is I love this land. But there are so many other names of India like one should know. Bharata Varsha, Brahmavarta, Aryavarta, Jambudvipa, Bharadak Khanda. These are so many names of our nation. हाँ भाई इंडिया में जाके स्टक कर गए. So, and fortunate to be born in this land because you have access to this. So then he got the name Vyasa. It was a title given to him, like Rishi Vyasa. What's his background? Vishnu Sahasranam. Vyasam Vasishta Naptaram Shakte Pautramakalmasham Parasharatmajam Vande Sukatatam Taponidhim. Akalmasham. Please see these days what is happening in the narrative. They leave everything. They will pick up one aspect. Vyasa was born out of wedlock to a fisherwoman and a rishi. And they will highlight it and it will become viral. So, akalmasham. Jati na pucho sadhu ki puch lijiye kyan. And what's his background? Vasishta Naptaram, great grandson of Vasishta. Shakti Pautram, Shakti Rishi's Pautra, grandson. Parashara's Atmaja, son of Parashara Rishi. And Sukha, Tata, father of Sukha. This is the lineage. I wonder whether somebody has a lineage like this. So this is his background. And he got the title Vyasa because Vyasa word meaning means one contextual usage is one who has analyzed. So what has he analyzed? First, let's see the superstructure and then I'll take you into a story. So the superstructure, which is our Vedic structure, is not one book. It is a superstructure. And every person, if he calls himself a Hindu, should know this. Not just a Hindu, anybody who is born in India should know this because the superstructure, it is not one book. And in case you call yourself a Brahmana, you should necessarily know this. So you can't say I'm a Brahmana, but it's only, I know it only in English. No. Then in that case, you are not qualified to be a Brahmana. Eligibility, you should know this superstructure. So what is the superstructure? There is a Moola Grantha, 4 Vedas, which were made separate into 4 Vedas by Veda Vyasa. That's why it's called Veda Vyasa, one who classified, analyzed the Vedas. So that is the Moola Grantha, the foundation. On top of this foundation, the first foundation, there is another layer. That layer is called Bhagavad Gita. While Moola Grantha is called Shruti Grantha means heard Grantha. The second layer is called Smriti Grantha, recalled Grantha. It is extracted from various sources and made. So that is the second layer. Then comes the third layer. They are called Upanishads. There were 1008 Upanishads. Now we are left with 10. Okay. So 10 Upanishads. This forms the third layer. Then on either side, we have 2 pillars on either side. On one side, you have 2 pillars, Itihasa, Mahabharata and Ramayana. On this side, put the structure, foundation, level 1, level 2, 2 pillars. Itihasa, Ramayana, Mahabharata. On the right side pillars, you have Puranas and Prakarana Grantha. These 4, this is the pillar. Now what is the roof? The roof is called Brahma Sutra. Now imagine the picture. There is a roof, 2 pillars on each side and 3 layers. This is the superstructure of Vedic Dharma. Now going by the name Hinduism, it is nothing to do with Hinduism. Hinduism just is a coin. This is the Dharma, Sanatana Dharma. 3 layers, foundation, 2 layers, 2 pillars on each side, then a roof. Just draw this and you will get this superstructure. And this takes not just one lifetime. I don't know how many lifetimes it will take. It will take to even study one proper Grantha properly. Veda Vyasa has codified all of them. He has written 18 Puranas, composed 18 Puranas. And yes, the Upanishads, even Gita Dhyanam says, Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam and Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam. Vyasena Gratitam, he understood the message and put it in the middle of Mahabharata. Okay, and what does it contain? Advaita Amritam, that's another subject. So, we are now going to take the 2 pillars. Of the 2 pillars, I am only going to take the pillar Mahabharata. 18 chapters. And in the middle of 18 chapters, you have the Bhishma Parva, in which comes the war. Now, a lot of people take a vicarious, they get a lot of pleasure, this is called, what do we call it? Cheap pleasure. There's one of the social media platforms in which we have a group called Kolkata Tamilians. There is one fellow who particularly takes a delight in calling Mahabharata fiction. You write about Mahabharata, he will write that in bold letters. This is a fiction. This is a fiction. He gets some kind of cheap pleasure in doing it. And a lot of people put like, dislike, and then that thread grows long and he has got his pleasure. Now, so this question, somebody once asked, is it fiction? Is it real? Let's answer that question. The Shastra calls it Itihasa. It so happened. I don't want to argue with Shastras, because Shastra is coming straight from somebody like Veda Vyasa. Why would I want to argue with him? I would perhaps like to ask more. Why do you call it history? Okay. The Bhashyakaras and other people who explain, they explain that this event happened. There was a family, it is called the Kuru, the family of the Kurus, that got separated. The 2 brothers, the children of 2 brothers, fought over property. This happened at the end of the war, everybody perished. This happened at Kurukshetra. So what is great about Kurukshetra? Plain land. If you have gone to see there, it's a plain land. So even tanks can run there. So those days, horses, chariots, elephant, camels, all those things have to run. When you are running so many chariots, the horses need water. So Kurukshetra has sufficient water bodies around so that they are served with, the horses can be given water. So looking at basic credentials, we are able to relate that there is a place where this war took place. It had certain facilities and the war took place. It took place in Kurukshetra. Philosophically, they put the Kurukshetra inside. Now, apart from history, so itihasa, history, it so happened. It also is called an Amara Kavya, immortal poem. So when it is an immortal poem, the Kavi has what is called poetic license. Okay, he can you embellish it. You embellish the whole thing. Like when I can tell my story. I was born on such and such a date. Simple. Now suppose I want to tell it as a Amara Kavi. No, I'm a Kavi, not an Amara Kavi. Suppose I was to tell it in a poetic story form. I can say on this particular day, in a place in Kolkata called Jagat Ganga, Lakshmi was going through the throes of labor pain. And about 3:45, a boy was born and they named him Mohan. Okay. Poetically, I've told. I can add, there was a doctor, Sudhanshu Ghosh, who attended. You don't know whether Sudhanshu Ghosh was there or not. It might have been my creation. So the event, my birth was okay. The embellishment around the event is not a bluff. It's the poet's imagery. We don't dismiss it as a story. It's an imagery. So if you have this Shraddha, then the Mahabharata will work for you. Even if you don't have Shraddha, you can do research and get a doctorate on Mahabharata without having any Shraddha on Mahabharata. That's the beauty of Mahabharata. Stories within stories within stories within stories. Every story has an Uvacha. Mahabharata also tells the story of Ramayana there. In Mahabharata, you have the story of Ramayana. Rama's story is told in Mahabharata. So let us see how the Mahabharata started. There was a king called Parikshit. He was bitten by a snake and perished. Vasuki, and he perished. So his son Janamejaya conducted a yajna. And in that yajna, it is called, Sarpa yajna. All the Sarpas in the world were coming and being destroyed there. Any Sarpa created in any loka was rushing towards the fire and getting destroyed. And a number of priests attended that. And VYASA also attended that. And VYASA's great-grandson, Vaishampayana, tells the story every evening after the yajna. This is how the Mahabharata is featured. That's why I say it is not just history, it is his story. So let's briefly look at VYASA's story, briefly, because I'm going to bring in other characters as well. So VYASA, born to Matsyagandha and Parashara. When he was born, he was Krishna Dvaipayana, grew into adulthood immediately and went into tapas. Now later on, when Matsyagandha became the queen of Hastinapura, and she lost she wanted children, and two of her sons were incapable of producing children, and they died. So then she asked Bhishma. We'll see Bhishma character. And when Bhishma said no, she summoned VYASA. And VYASA, obeying his mother's command, you call it, Garbhadana. It is not called, it's a very beautiful word used. It's Garbhadana. he gave Garbhadana to 2 queens, and one of the queens tricked him and sent a maid. So to the third person, he gave Garbhadana to 3. Of the 3 were born Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and Vidura. Later on, he comes into the Mahabharata and he tells his mother, Satyavati, and he says, what is going to happen now you cannot face. Because the sense of dharma that you lived under is gone. Therefore, let us go away. He takes Satyavati and goes away. He comes again at one more point of time when Ashwathama releases the Brahmastra. And when he releases the Brahmastra, the Veda Vyasa stops it. Because on the one side, Ashwathama releases the Brahmastra, on the other side, Arjun releases the Brahmastra. He stops them and he tells Arjun, take it back. He takes it back. But Ashwathama is not able to take it back. So Ashwathama gets cursed. This is the part of Mahabharata story. Now let's look at the characters in Mahabharata and see how Veda Vyasa has etched each of these characters, how he has designed these characters, and let us not look far away. We will find these characters in our own circles. In our own families you could find among ourselves. So this is a history which is a clear reflection of your and my life. Okay, so I'm going to look at character number 1 called Shantanu. Shantanu was a Raja of Hastinapura. The fellow was the cause of the entire problem. Okay, he goes for hunting or something early morning walk with all his, paraphernalia. These days he would have worn Reebok shoes and t-shirt and things like that. Those days he wore whatever dress he was required to wear. And he met a very beautiful lady called Ganga. And Ganga, he asked her, will you be mine? Ganga said, yes, no doubt about it, but I have some conditions. Even before asking the conditions, he said, yeah, all conditions accepted. So we should ask a question to ourselves. Is it vivekam to accept something unconditionally even before hearing the conditions? Did something like this happen? Look back in history. You accepted for partition of a country and some conditions were put. Without even looking at the conditions, you accepted the conditions. And what is the result after so many years? Don't you see? So you accepted those conditions. What were the conditions? You will not ask questions whatever I do. And in case you ask questions, that very day I will leave you. Ye kaisa condition? And he said, whatever you say is okay. She bore him son after son after son after son. Each of the son on the day of the birth, she threw it into the nearby river. He accepted the conditions and stayed quiet for 7 sons. Having kept quiet for so long, why did you make a Mauna Vrata 5 minutes before time? If he had kept quiet, the 8th, India would have been a different place altogether. He asked the question, stop, you wicked lady. She said, oh my God, I wish you had kept shut for 5 more minutes. Well, then this son and I, we could have lived together. But unfortunately, you have broken the condition. I have to go back to my Swarga Loka. She left, and she left with the boy. So ask the question, Shantanu, is it Viveka? Having accepted, did you have the Vairagya to live through all that? What an etching of a character. Through the character Shantanu, Veda Vyasa tells us, have Viveka in all your decision making. And your Viveka should be managed or supported by substantial Vairagya. So before taking a New Year resolution, have Viveka. Having taken, have Vairagya. Many of us make great promises. If you can't make the promise, never mind, don't make the promise. I will see very often people come and say, I will definitely come and see you. Then no reply on the day. 3 days later, say something came up. Hey, why don't you say, I will try to come and see you? Why don't you have the Viki? Why do you want the Aviveki and try to please me even before the invitation comes to you? So you can say, look, I do appreciate your invitation. I will try to come. You need not give excuse. All you have to say, I will try to come. And if you're not able to come on the same day or next day, you can possibly my apologies. Problems can be solved. Simple technique on home management, Raja management. If you see what's happening, aviveka, lack of vairagya. Okay. Now let's look at one more character. I'm going to examine a few characters. We have a character called, I'm not going in serial order, I'm going in jump and cut order, like making a movie, suddenly I'll introduce a character, I will edit and bring another character there. So I'm going to introduce a character called Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra, born blind. Being firstborn, he is by birth eligible to be king. But because of a certain disability, which interferes in the proper discharge of his duties, he could not be king. In all our employment contract, you will certify. Please check. Without reading, many of us sign, I have read and understood the terms and conditions. See, when I joined Reserve Bank over 50 or so many years ago, they give a thick book called Rules and Regulations. Even the fellow who made it does not know what is written there. And along with the book, they will give you a form. And you have to write that I have read the rules, regulation and understood also. Even today, many people do not understand what is the meaning of certain clauses. So we are like Shantanu, agreeing for everything and suffering for the rest of our life. So Dhritarashtra, and then there is a condition there. If you suffer from any body or mental defect which interferes in your duty, we can discharge you immediately. So in the same way, as a Raja, he had a disqualification. He was netrahin. And as a person who cannot see, one who cannot defend himself, what can he defend the country? And for you to give a decision, very often the deciding authority, the judges need to look into your face. Vikramaditya looked into your face, found your body language, your eyes speaking, and then took decisions. So there is a certain requirement of a king. The king eligibility was not there. Therefore, he did not become king. But subsequently, because of default, for some reason, he became a caretaker king. When he became a caretaker king, the son was born to him, the firstborn. The firstborn is supposed to be the king. So he thought, my firstborn can be king. He is physically fit, strong fellow. But unfortunately, 2 hours before him, Yudhishthira was born. A few hours before, Yudhishthira was born. And his son could not be king. And the non-acceptance of a certain reality riled him throughout his life. He was constantly feeling, why I see how unfortunate I am. I can't be king. How unfortunate I am. My son cannot be king. So, it is like, you have to understand a small story here. There is among animals, particularly tigers, there is an animal called a man-eating tiger. The tiger normally does not like our human skin because, first of all, it is not hard enough. And it is salty to taste. I don't know. I have never eaten human flesh. They say it is salty to taste. Maybe tiger has given an opinion. So the tigers don't like the human skin. But suppose the tiger is incapacitated and it is not able to hunt normal prey, no other way of pacha kucha khana padega. So it started eating human flesh. Now the mother tiger gives birth to cubs. And what will the mother tiger feed the cubs? Whatever it has hunted. So we have the next generation cubs, which has developed a taste for human blood and flesh, induced by the mother, and they turn out to be man-eating tigers. This is written not by me, written by that person who was at Hunt. I don't know what was his name. So a national park is also there after his name. There is a person.
Jim Corbett.
Jim Corbett National Park. It is there. Okay. Now, in the same way, Dhritarashtra feels bad. I am unfortunate. I am unfortunate. I can't be king. I am unfortunate. I can't be king. My sons are equally unfortunate. They can't be king. So right from childhood, you feed them resentment, non-acceptance of reality, what do you call, intolerance towards the success of others. So fed on this data, on this food, on this nourishment, Duryodhana and company grew up to be what they are. So one more lesson that Vyasa wants, what's built in through this character Dhritarashtra. Please be very careful, mindful of what you talk to the next generation. Don't ever tell the next generation you are useless. Don't tell the next generation you are lazy. Tell them you are inclined towards laziness. Small change in the language. What has happened is the next generation now understands I am inclined. That means I am not lazy, but once in a while I am lazy. You have made him objective towards something. Don't ever call your child, you are a liar. Till the time you are inclined to lie, then you are under pressure. See the change in the boy and the children's response. That means the child grows up with a nourishment. I am not a liar by birth, but when under pressure, I do lie. Suddenly, I am objective to a situation. Maybe it can be healed. I don't even say cure. I can say it can be healed. Now, what nourishment we give the next generation is very, very important. Okay, there's a problem among all seniors, and then particularly about movies being made. Parents are abandoned in old people's home and children are enjoying elsewhere. Are they enjoying? Do you ask your child, are you enjoying? The child says, I still look for the day when you used to hold me by my hand and take me to exhibitions and walking. But you fed me the data, you fed me the food that I have to go abroad and work and make a lot of money. I'm only obeying your orders. You never told me stay in our village in Tinnavelli and let's grow up there. You told me you have to go achieve, you have to make the world sit up and take notice. I'm only doing what you told. Never ever condemn the next generation. You are not taking care of your parents. They are taking much better care than you did. They are taking care. The child is definitely not happy with the parent living alone in a sprawling flat because they don't know when will you fall flat. Where will you fall flat? Maid servants can't be trusted. Caregivers cannot be trusted. Anybody can knock your door with, and then of course you have this scam. There will be one URL, you will press it, your money goes. They are more concerned about that and they say, why don't you go and stay in a home where they can take care of you? And you say, old people's home, yes, send it away. I don't know why they call it old people's home. It's not an old citizen people's home. It's a senior citizen caregiving center. So let's be very careful, very mindful about what diet we feed to the next generation. So Dhritarashtra. Now then I come to his wife now, Gandhari. Gandhari puja is done as a pativrata. Husband cannot see, therefore I won't see. Personally, I consider it pretty stupid. She should have said, if you can't see, I will be your eyes. Imagine both of them going to the bathroom in the evening, both of them will stumble and fall. At least with their eyes open, she can say, careful, there is a step there. And if one is on wheelchair, the other person can push. If both are blinded, who will push? I consider it pretty stupid even according to modern times. In older times, it was even more stupid. And you know something? What were Duryodhana and company deprived of? They were deprived of parents' attention. And attention comes from the eyes. When the child talks to you, look into the child's eyes. Look into the child's body language. It nourishes the child to grow. If you watch the body language, if you watch the eyes, when the child tells a lie, it will possibly lower the eyes. It won't have the confidence to meet your eyes. So now you know the child is perhaps not being truthful. You could guide the child how to be truthful. So it's important that the mother in particular looks at the child. And Gandhari, by tying her own eyes, deprived 100 children from her nourishing look. So this is the contribution of Dhritarashtra, Gandhari to the problem of 100 children. Let's look at one more character. Bhishma. Okay, you all do Bhishma, Ekadeshi, that. Bhishma is an amazing character. A person so skilled that when Shantanu saw Bhishma for the first time, it's about a 14-year-old boy, he was stunned because he was shooting arrows against the current. Against the current when Ganga was flowing at, imagine, in ordinary place where Ganga is flowing at a low speed, you cannot go against the current. Imagine in Rishikesh, those areas, Rudrapayag area, gushes. He was firing arrows against the current. What a skill. What a skill. Bhishma. His original name was Devavrata. Gangeya was his name. Okay. The Bhishma is characterized by one value or one attitude that all of us have. All of us have. That is called adamantine attitude. Na sonna. And it is also reiterated by seeing a movie. Now, Urudara sonna, and it gets reiterated into your system. So it is reiterated. So what did he say? For the sake of my father fell in love with somebody, and he should have counseled the father, this is not the age to fall in love. But okay, if you still want to marry, go get married. But there should have been something, you are a Raja, you think about who will rule, who will not rule. Think about it. This time Shantanu was intelligent, because the condition, Satyavati's father said, only my grandsons should rule, your sons cannot rule. So at least at that point, Shantanu was okay. So he went in search to get the bride for his father. And Satyavati's father said, my condition is my grandson should rule and not Shantanu's, and that is not you. He said, I give up my rights for the throne. Then Satyavati's father said, no, but you may give up your right. But tomorrow when you get married, your sons will come and fight. There will be a war. He said, I will be a Naishtika Brahmachari. There will be nobody from my clan who will come and fight. There still was a war and they still destroyed themselves. They still destroyed themselves. Your adamancy didn't get you anywhere. The adamancy only created a war. So that's why terrible oath he took. Therefore he became Bhishma. Okay, then he also said, whoever is in Hastinapura, I will support them. No Viveka. He should have said, whoever is in Hastinapura, and follows dharma, I will support them. It is like, introducing the word, one word was introduced in our constitution. Without proper parliament approval, and today we are still sick over all that. He said, I will be supporting whoever is on the throne. He should have simply said, I will support whoever is on the throne, and dharma. Dharma is first and whoever is on the throne second. And because of that, he was compelled to support adharma. He was compelled to support adharma because he was so conscious of his dharma that I am not supposed to go against the king. Then in Bhari Darbar, when in the Darbar, Draupadi's Vastra was being molested, he could not open the mouth. He could not open the mouth. When the dice game was going on and Pandavas were being cheated, he could not open the mouth. Much later, okay, I can understand all. Now comes the war. He could have simply said, hey, Krishna said, I will not fight, I will only be advisor. There was another warrior called Rukmi who said, I will only be advisor. Balarama said only I will be advisor. Yeah, why didn't Bhishma said I will not fight? Hey, you grandchildren are fighting. I don't like you fighting. I will not fight. And if he had said that, Do you think Duryodhana would have had the courage to declare war? The entire war was declared because of the tacit support of Bhishma. There are so many Bhishmas there in the world today. Because of their tacit support, small nations wage war. Because there is Bhishma there. Adamantine behavior. I will not fight. I will not do this. And because of it, he could neither make either side work properly. See, you are adamant you are going to support Duryodhana. Then why do you weaken him by criticizing Karna? Then you make an oath that I will not kill any of the Pandavas. Then better retire and go. No, why do you say I will come? I will not play World Cup. I will not play one day. I will not play T20 2020. Better retire and become a commentator. I will not do this. I will not do this. You weakened by your mere presence. You weakened. You support adharma. And what happens when you do this? Look at the painful death he had. Hey, he had one Ichha Mrityu. He could have taken that Ichha Mrityu much before the war. At least the war would have not happened. Adamantine behavior. Again, lack of viveka. Like his father. His father did not have viveka in some area and vairagya in some area. The son carried the genes. Thank God he did not have children. Otherwise he would have carried for Bhishma. One. I would rate, Dhritarashtra first, Bhishma second cause of the Mahabharata war. Let's look at one more character. Drona. Okay. There is a beautiful, sorry, it's not reflection on anybody, okay? There is a beautiful word for it. Daridra Brahmana. No source of income. So whoever provides him income, I will go be with them. Whoever gives me pension, free housing, ration, I will be with them. I will vote for them. Are there not people in India who are doing the same thing? Daridra Brahmana. No sense of dharma. What a qualified archer. No sense of dharma. He says, why Bhishma is doing adharma, therefore fine, I am okay with that. You don't have a will of your own to say, I will not do. And then after Bhishma falls, his entire sense of dharma is gone. He puts the Chakravyuha and kills a underage 17-year-old boy. It was his plotting which killed. And because of his plotting, what happened? He also, even without his son dying, he had to get news that his son died, Putra Shoka, and he was eliminated. A person, such scholarly person, behaving in a fashion unwise. Okay? I am not looking at Duryodhana today. Because Duryodhana prototype, I am not looking. I am looking at one more character. One character is called Draupadi. Somebody molested her. Okay? And she says, I will not tie my hair till the entire clan is destroyed. Or at least say, one fellow molested, you kill that one fellow. Or kill the 3, 4 fellows around. You want the entire clan to be destroyed? And she constantly told Bhima, because she knew Arjuna is very difficult to manipulate. Arjuna was not easily manipulated. Bhima was a little excited. So she used to constantly tell, Dushasana touched me, you promise that you will break Duryodhana's lap, you will make Duryodhana's thighs, and you will separate hand from the body of Dushasana. You promised. Constantly. See what happens, what lesson do we learn? We all go through bad times. All of us have tough times in life. Everybody has been, tell me one person here who has not been humiliated. All of us have been humiliated. How many times in Calcutta they have called you, Oi Tetul Pani? And you say Calcutta is a great place. Still all of us say. All of us still say. And I know many Bengalis in Lake Market used to go, Tetul Pani group. Hey, Maddu. Have they not called you? But we are not like Draupadi. We are forgiven them and would like to go back to Bengal also. But Draupadi says, I won't forgive you. She kept the injury alive. She was eaten by the toxicity of herself. She not only was toxic, she made others toxic. Draupadi, Look at the characters. How they influenced the war. And these characters are all in our life. You don't have to look very far. There is one social media platform, Calcutta Tamils. Look there, you will find all these characters. Okay, jokes apart. Now let's look at one more character. This character is called by a number of names. He has got 10 names. Dhananjaya, Sabyasachi, Kaunteya, Partha, Arjuna, commonly known name, Bharata, Rishabha. These are the names. And what is Arjuna? So skilled that when he came to fight the war, when he came to Kurukshetra, all the devatas assembled. They said, Arjuna is coming to play. Bhishma was watching, my grandson is coming to fight. They have never seen Arjuna fight in that kind of battle. Drona was admiring him. The devas were admiring him. Can you draw a parallel to this? In Australia, 18-year-old boy called Sachin Tendulkar walked out to play. The entire world stood still to watch him play. And when he got out, the Australians said, we are sorry to see him go, because we have never seen anybody play with so much grace. Unruffled. No throwing of arms and yelling profanities. He walked calmly, took stock, and he was given LBW for the ball hitting his shoulder. He smiled and walked away. We have Arjunas even today. Skilled people. And these Arjunas can change your and my life. You know by what? By asking the right questions. Our life is different today because if Arjuna had not asked that question, we would have never got Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna asked a question. He said, by fighting this war, who is benefiting? Every war people should ask, who is benefiting by this war? Who dies? Soldiers die. Who don't know, who don't know why they are fighting. You have to keep them motivated. You have to say, on that land our enemies, people who don't believe in our God live in that side of the land. Go kill them. So you have to use God's name, you have to use some kind of thing. So he says, who benefits by this war? All of us should ask this question. Skilled people should ask this question. Not people lying under trees and doing nothing. People with skill, people who can change lives, they should ask this question. Why this war? Who will benefit by this war? Then he asked one more question. That question says, what is the purpose of my life, Krishna? I know that with my kind of skill, I can win 3 lokas. I am son of Indra, so Swargaloka is anyway mine. Bhuloka Jujjubi, you are there to support, I can win Bhuloka. And I have a queen called Ulupi, so I have even the Nagaloka under my control. In the west, I have a queen, Chitrangada, so entire northeast is under my control. I can win any king. And then you have given me the name Dhananjaya. I am the student of Dronacharya. I know how to fire not only Brahmastra, I know how to fire the Pashupatastra as well. I am such a qualified person, but I know one thing, that in spite of all my qualifications, in spite of all the assets that I can win, I will still remain an unfulfilled person. Karpanya dosho pahatasvabhavaha prachhamitvam dharma sammuda chetaha yashreyas nishchitam bruhitanne. Tell me what is Shreyas. Tell me what's good for the whole world. What is good for everybody. I know what is Shreyas. I know what is good for me. Yashreya nishchitam bruhi shishyaste aham shadimam tvam prapannam. I surrender unto you, Krishna. Teach me. Shadimam, teach me. Tvam prapannam, I surrender. And when he said this, Krishna smiled. So it's very important that each one of us learn to ask this question. What is the purpose of my life? हमने जन्म क्यों लिया? Maslow's chart says, what is the last one? What need? Self-actualization. What is the meaning of self-actualization? If you ask this question, Krishna will lead you to Mundaka and then the Mundaka you will have a verse. Parikshya lokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayat nasti akrita kritena tad vigyanartham gurumeva abhigachet samit panim shrotriyam tam brahmanishtam. I need a whole class to explain all this. Discover the purpose of your life by approaching your Guru. Manushya Janmam Durlapam, Jigyasa Durlapam, Mahapurusha Samsaraya Ati Durlapam. What is the purpose of your life? Inquire what is the purpose and seek out a Guru who can answer this question. This is Arjuna. And it said, Parthaya Pratibodhitam. You know, Akunti has a name called Pritha. Pritha means Prithvi. So Prithvi's son, every human being is to ask this question. Every human being should ask this question. Hey Krishna, what is the purpose of my life? Hamari zindagi ka bhai uddeshya kya hai? You should ask. And once you ask that question, you are a Sanatani. Nobody stops you from becoming a rich man. But ask the question, there's a friend of mine here, an economist. Yeah, there's some friends of mine. There's a doctorate in economics. She's here. Why do you demand money? Money is never demanded for itself. It is demanded for what it can buy. In the same way, Arthat Kama is not demanded for itself. It is demanded for some particular purpose. What is the purpose? Paropakarasya. You earn enough money so that you can help the others. That is the purpose. And if this purpose is discovered, your mind is open to a higher purpose in life. That purpose, in very simple term, is called moksha. What is moksha? You will have a whole lot of translations confusing you, leaving you tearing your hair. Mokshitum ichha, the desire to be free. Free from what? Free from the struggle to be different from what I am right now. I am not acceptable to myself as I am. So I have to say, tomorrow I have to be this. I want to have a better version of myself. And Krishna comes and says, you don't have to be a better version, be yourself. And that is the unique character which VYASA has created. He created the character. He didn't create Krishna, okay? He created the character Krishna. He created Ishvara in Krishna. He invoked Krishna as Jagadishwara. He invoked Ishvara in creation in Krishna and made him speak the Bhagavad Gita. Vyasa created Bhagavata Krishna for the sake of his devotees. And in Mahabharata, he created the Krishna as Yogeshwara Krishna who teaches you Brahma Vidya. And Krishna's when say Arjuna Uvacha, Dhritarashtra Uvacha, Sanjaya Uvacha are all fine. Does he say Sri Krishna Uvacha? Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Every word that Krishna says is Bhagavan Uvacha. Straight from the Upanishads. And then it says, what does the Gita contain? Upadesha Sara. It says, Sarvo Upanishado Gavaha is it? Dogdha Gopala Dandanaha. So all Upanishads are cows. Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta. So from the Upanishads, the essence has been milked and put into the Bhagavad Gita and given to Partha, Bhagavad Gita. And then what does it do to you? What does Bhagavad Gita ultimately give you? Okay, it says, it gives you dukkha nivritti, freedom from dukkham. Samshaya nivritti, freedoms from self-doubt, problems about goals and things like that. Bhaya nivritti, freedom from fear. And fourth and more important, dakshata prapti. It gives you the skill to handle your life. And that character has been created by Veda Vyasa. The character created invoked Bhagavan there, and through the words of Bhagavan, you Narayanena Swayam, you hear Gita Amritam. What does it do? Amrita Varshinim. Just one important verse from the Gita for all of us. One verse. The whole Gita. I'm in a class there are about 183 talks completed. Anybody willing can join that class. Welcome. It is for free. Krishna didn't charge anybody anything to Arjuna. Okay, Dakshinamurti didn't charge. Dakshinamurti Sada Adi Shankara didn't charge. Veda Vyasa particularly didn't charge anything to anyone. I don't charge anyone. Everybody are free to give a Diksha. That's another thing. That's another dharma. Okay. So he says, one verse. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan atman evatmana tushtaha sitadhir munirichyate, something like this. So atmani eva atmana tushtaha. When you discover the pleased, happy person in yourself, okay, sarvan kaman prajahati, your desire to be something different from what you are, prajahati, it just is neutralized. Right now we are driven to be somebody. Vedanta comes and tells you, Krishna comes and tells you, you already are that body that you want to be. You are already a Purna Swarupam. It's a matter of discovery. So Veda Vyasa, through the words of Krishna, brings you the Upanishads. It's an amazing creation. Then you have the Bhagavata. In that Bhagavata, you have Bhakti of Krishna unfolded everywhere. How Bhakti helps you. And in the Mahabharata, he gives you how Jnanam helps you. Bhakti prepares you and Jnanam takes care of you totally. Right? It frees you from all your limitations totally. This is the contribution of Veda Vyasa in the form of a beautiful story, Mahabharata. His story, he has brought history. In history, he has given all this. It takes not just one lifetime, it takes several lifetimes. If you are able to fortunate enough to learn one Bhagavad Gita, our life is made. So this is what I thought in the given 1 hour I will share with you. Like whenever Subbu calls, I'm there available. Because when somebody says, come and talk, I used to look at an Arjuna there. Hey, come on here, an Arjuna is calling, let me go. So questions need to be answered. We need to get people to think. And all of us of this generation have a responsibility. The responsibility is not to just lecture to the next generation, is to live a life which inspires the next generation. And live a life of refinement, elegance, alignment to dharma. Alignment to dharma doesn't mean running around and doing yatras and things like that. Alignment to dharma in thought, word and deed. When I live a life aligned to dharma, I inspire the next generation. And that once they are inspired, gently introduce them to Gita. Try to learn a chapter or two. Learn something. Learn at any point of time. Learn at least 5 the 4 questions that every human being has. 5 questions that every being. You must be able to say, these are the questions every human being has. The answers are available here. Because many of us are good in asking questions. But where are the answers? Tell them this is where the answers are available. The next generation may tell you, will you teach me? Because in the Upanishads, sometimes the father becomes the teacher of the son. Rishi Uddhalaka became the teacher of Shvetaketu. The husband becomes the teacher of the wife. Okay. Yama Raj himself becomes the teacher of Nachiketa. Each is a beautiful, I don't know, that's why I said master storyteller. Each Upanishad has a story there. Stories within stories within stories. I'm amazed at his capacity of telling stories. At least learn Vyasa's life so that you can tell interesting stories to keep your children, grandchildren engaged. There's a Tata will tell stories. Good stories. Not saying fairy came and did happy birthday and will give you birthday Christmas presents. No. Tell them how a Dhruva Kumar became, how a Prahlada had confidence to fight evil, how an Abhimanyu went into the war field, how an Arjuna asked the right questions. Talk about Chhatrapati Shivaji. Talk about Subhash. Hey, Subhash means Subhash Chandra Bose. Talk about Subhash. Let's tell these stories. Not stories of Puchandi Vandang, Kanda Kutina, this, that. We are still stuck there. If not, we will have somebody coming from Antarctica on a reindeer. Hey, why do you want a reindeer and all those fellows? Why can't you say 7 horses and talk about Ratha Saptami? Why can't you tell a story about that? We need to learn. Once we learn, Sanatana Dharma will take care of us. And all of us, we have to protect us. Sanatana Dharma capable of protecting itself. But we need to learn. So this was my thought sharing. I'm deeply grateful to my gurus, Sri Swami Dayananda Saraswati, Sri Swami Atma Triptananda Saraswati, my parents, without whom I would have never got this body in the first place, who encouraged me to study. Occasionally, my father used to say, if you had studied economics well, you would have become governor of Reserve Bank, but never mind, you have not wasted your time. So my parents supported me, who encouraged me. My father used to talk very proudly of. He said, I don't know where he gets it, but when he talks, it's not my son talking. So I'm deeply grateful to Ishwara Anugraha, who gave me access to this Shastra, to this human birth, to the spirit of inquiry, and the Swamis, my family, everybody who supports me in this cause. And of course, to our family of Tapovan, who constantly wants me to share thoughts. Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you, Mohanda, for the wonderful, awesome presentation. It has been a great learning experience for all of us. I was just wondering why you did not want to touch on a character, the most controversial one, Shakuni. Anyway, maybe for the next time, we'll get to know from you. There's an open, ladies and gentlemen. Mic go, please.
Sir, Mr. Mohan Krishnan, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it was so inspiring and thought-provoking. In fact, your perspectives, certain perspectives were a revelation to me. In the sense that Kandari ஒரு பதிவிரதா husband கண்ணை close பண்ணிண்டா அவளும் close பண்ணிண்டா அது it was projected positively all the while. But as a mother, she has lost that touch with her sons and how their sons turned out to be.
Yeah.
For no fault of theirs.
Yes.
So, actually speaking, your heart goes for them.
Yeah, right.
In the Mari, or a father who is riling them up, every time. And on the other side, ஒரு அம்மா அந்த குழந்தைகளை பார்த்து பேசாம ஒரு body language புரிஞ்சுக்காம, I mean, the entire lives of them were completely wasted. Yes. I mean, that perspective, it was so revealing. I was so touched by that, perspective. And Bhishma's, Draupadi's, the revenge, toxicity that she was spreading. I mean, all that was so, it was extremely inspiring and thought-provoking.
Oh.
Very, 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 very good, sir. In fact, I would like to ask you a question that when do you have your online classes, Bhagavad Gita?
Okay, Monday 5:30 to 6:30 is my online classes.
Okay.
And some people here attend. I can put it I can send it to Subbu. I will send you the link and Subbu can circulate it to whoever.
Monday 5:30 to 6:30. Sir.
Monday 5:30 to 6:30.
Yeah,
I'll send it to Subbu.
I would like to attend, sir. I've been looking for one. I would like to attend, sir.
Yeah, I'll send the link to Subramaniam. He will circulate it, and whoever interested is free to come.
Thank you very much, sir.
Oh.
Excellent storytelling and different perspective altogether.
Om
Thank you so
Namah
much.
Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I have only one word to say
Ah.
about your lecture.
Ah.
Excellent. I have no other words to appreciate it, sir. Thank you so
Ishvara,
much, sir.
I have only 3 words in reply. Ishvara Anugraha, Guru Kripa, Shastra Kripa. Nothing belongs to me.
Okay.
Nothing belongs to me. In fact, the last 1 hour I didn't speak at all. It was my Guru who spoke through me.
Thank you, sir.
True, sir. Really, I'm also speechless, huh? Amazing, simply amazing. Gandhari's perspective, as Madam said, no? True, we used to think about our Pativrata only, huh? How she could nourish her children. But the children could not be nourished because of their sight. They could not get their parents' sight.
Yeah.
And Bhishma, Dhritarashtra, amazing, no words to express, sir. Superb session, want to hear again and again. Huh? Thank you very much.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you so much, Baba, for sharing me the link. I could have heard this another way of looking at that characters, but we never thought in that manner. And every day when I'm listening to you, I am going to be more open to see more in a different way things. Thank you so much.
Om Namah Shivaya. Bholenath, Bhole Shankar.
Namaskaram, sir.
Namaskaram. Jiva
Whole
Rekha Madam.
complete human psychology described in a simple way. எங்க எல்லாருக்கும் புரியுற மாதிரி ரொம்ப ஆக்சுவலி நான் கொஞ்சம் பகவத்கீதா பிராக்டிஸ் பண்ணிட்டே இருப்பேன், படிச்சுட்டே இருப்பேன். எனக்கு வந்து சொல்லணும் கூட ஆசை. ஆனா நீங்க பெரிய ஸ்காலர், அதனால நான்லாம் வந்து இப்பதான் ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கோம், அதனால சொல்றதுக்கே கொஞ்சம் தயக்கமா இருக்கும் எனக்கு. ஆனா நீங்க சொன்ன பாயிண்ட்லாம் நான் யோசிச்சு பார்த்தது உண்டு. நான் அடிக்கடி எடுத்து படிக்கிறதால இதை நான் யோசிச்சு பார்த்தது உண்டு. ஆனா இதெல்லாம் சொல்லலாமா கூடாதா அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு பயம் எனக்கு எப்பயுமே இருக்கும். ஆனா இன்னைக்கு உங்க இது கேட்டதுல இருந்து ரொம்ப தெளிவாயிடுது. ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ் சார். ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது. ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ்.
Rajaraman sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good
Yes,
evening, sir.
our Mani sir, yeah. Rajaraman sir, yeah.
Good evening, sir. It was a mind-blowing discourse on Mahabharata, supposed to be twice the size of Odyssey and Iliad combined together. And it is also right on the Pancham. Beautiful, as everybody was saying, your angle of perception of the characters of Gandhari, Bhishma, were totally different. The stupidity of Gandhari, that word I liked it very much. Okay, whatever she wanted to express by her steadfastness to her husband, she lost in rearing up her children. So that was a differently looking angle. And Aviveka of great characters like Bhishma, Dronacharya, and all other people. Because ultimately, all peoples are victims of circumstances only. See, whatever they have learned, whatever they have studied, the moment in which they are placed, that carries a lot of things for them. And they become circumstances. Nothing could be done about it. See, that's not. See, I am reminded when somebody questioned Krishna, why did not you go and protect Draupadi when she was disrobed? He said, nobody called me, and why did not you stop Dharmaputra from playing that dice game? He said, he never called me. He could have called me and said to Duryodhana that as your uncle is playing for you, Krishna will play for me.
Correct,
I would have
yeah.
definitely got him victory. That's all. So everybody is a victim of circumstances.
Oh my God. I'm humbled. I'm humbled. It's Guru Kripa, nothing else.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Bona. Yes, madam.
As usual, wonderful and very
Thank you.
informative. ஒவ்வொரு ஆங்கிள் ஒவ்வொரு தரமும் உங்க ஸ்பீச்ல இருந்து டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஆங்கிள் நிறைய இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கிடைக்கிறது. காட் பிளஸ் யூ. நமஸ்காரம். தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச்.
Okay, Mohan, thank you very much for your valuable time. To Gauri Madam for the wonderful introduction. Thank you, Jivileka Madam, for the excellent prayer to start with. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining the show. The recording of this recording will upload on YouTube sometime tomorrow.
I have a small question before that.
Oh, Manida.
I was looking for you.
Manida.
Namaste.
Namaste, Manida.
Mohanji, you have analyzed the characters very well and you are all very new to me. I have got only one small question. We have heard that there are so many Vyasas. See, because in his lifetime he has written so many things. So some people say it is not only Vyasa. There are so many Vyasas. I don't know. It is nothing important. We do not give any importance to such questions. But still, out of curiosity, I am asking.
It is possible that there are many people who have written, and somehow, our people, our scholars who have written, never thought of putting their names there.
The point is, it is not at all of any importance. What is written is important.
Yeah, what is written? That's why, remember, I started with Mol karo talwar ki pada rehne do myan. So all the people who wrote all this, but what happens is when you see the style, you see a common style. When you see the superstructure I drew for you with a roof, 4 pillars and the foundation, when we look at the superstructure, I find a common style. Looks like the work of one person. Or, like for instance, Swami Dayanandji has created hundreds of students all over the world. We all faithfully follow his style of teaching.
Right.
So, if you say it is that we say, it is all Swami Dayanandji's and nothing is ours.
Yeah, that's very correct.
So, in the same way, Veda Vyasa is created in such a wonderful superstructure that people said, let us stick to this style.
Yeah.
So, anybody who is created is always referred to as a Rishi, Rishi Vyasa, one who analyzes Veda Vyasa to this particular Krishna Dvaipai.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, the recording will be uploaded to YouTube sometime tomorrow. Kindly share the link as widely as possible. And the wrap up from all of us over here. Until we meet next, wishing you all goodbye, good night, and Ratri.